We've been here before, fighting the problems that fight back. But we can shift the status quo, because we see opportunities where others see obstacles. We're change makers and problem solvers, uniting over 1 million minds to address complex issues facing communities around the world, including yours. With passion and purpose, we've led the efforts to put an end to polio. Now eradication isn't just possible, it's plausible. Every day we're investing in a new generation of leaders so we can continue to provide access to clean water, tackle global health concerns, support education, and build the foundations of peace across borders. We're working together as partners and professionals while making friendships that last a lifetime. We're Rotary, and there's no limit to what we can do.
And welcome to the Rotary Club meeting of September 8th. I'm the president, Raymond Foster. That means I missed a board meeting and got myself elected. That's perfect. The first thing we're going to do is talk about a few things that are going on within the club. And we've had so much happen this weekend. First off, good news from Steve. The raffle is a go. And thank you very much to Barbara and Steve both for working through all the problems with the state. But now we are official. The state of California says we can hold a raffle. We have 10,000 raffle tickets. We have all kinds of community partners who are chomping at the bit to sell the tickets. We have the tickets. We've got the prize. We're good to go. I'm very, very happy about that. Number two, the hockey game is a go. The benefit hockey game will take place on October 23rd. We don't have the link or the flyer yet from the charity team, and it's the Patriot Leagues, which is Veterans versus LAPD on the night of the 23rd. And also, we'll have the Southland Young Marines will be present in the concourse selling our raffle tickets, and it's a 9,800 seat arena, so we should sell quite a few tickets. And the USMC benefit dinner that's going to take place on November 10th, and that is us partnering with the Diamond Bar Women's Club, the Southland Young Marines, the Armed Services YMCA, and the San Dimas Masonic Lodge. Not only is that a go, it's sold out. It's sold out in 13 hours. We sold, in fact, it oversold. We had 112 tickets. We actually had 94 seats. I've sold 112 tickets. We're going to put people on the stage, and that's very exciting. And it's been a pay up front caper. So we'll make sure that everyone's there, at least they will have paid. And we all need to start thinking about teacher mini grants, because that's right around the corner for us beginning, I would say in the next month and a half or so. And we're going to have plenty of money to do some really good work here in the district. So what I'd like to do next to keep the meeting going is ask Steve to lead us slowly in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'd be more than happy to. Please join me in honoring the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Steve. And you know what? We have our own personal invocator today, who I'm always pleased to see his happy face, his smiling face, because I know that if Casey made a meeting, something crazy is going to happen today. Casey, would you be so kind as to lead us in invocation?
Hopefully that something crazy isn't the prayer. All right, let us have a moment of invocation and prayer. Almighty God, we thank you that you are able to overcome all obstacles, all challenges, all circumstances. You hold the world in your hands and you have given it back to us. And so, Lord, we now hold the opportunity to make a difference. We hold the opportunity to go forward and to rise up and to contribute, to serve and to make the world a better place. So inspire us, fill us, and give us the opportunity now to encourage others to believe in hope and truth and doing good. Thank you for this opportunity, Lord, in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Casey. Hey, so also, in addition to, before we go to the spokes, which is where we have the members introduce themselves, the spokes in a wheel, and of course the Rotary wheel is sort of the symbol of Rotary. These meetings are rebroadcast on KWST 4 times. That was why we record them and why we try to keep to an hour and why it's formatted so strongly. They're so pleased with us that they have agreed to come out and live stream the spaghetti benefit dinner. And they haven't gone out into the community a very long time, but I got high-speed internet for them. They're going to send a camera and a cameraman, and we're going to have that event live streamed to the community, and it will be also rebroadcast on KWST. So that's a pretty exciting development for that benefit that we're doing in the community. And I personally am very pleased. So let's go around the wheel and see who is here today. And we will begin with Mike Wallace, who just popped in. Mike, say hello and tell us who you are.
Hi, everyone. I am Mike Wallace. I'm the president of Better Home Financial here in downtown San Dimas. I've been a Rotarian for about 6.5 years, past president, past treasurer, and I'm happy to be here serving the community today.
Hey, thank you, Mike, and I'm glad to see you today. And let's go to Steve Scott. He was the second one in today. So, Steve.
Thank you, Raymond. Hello, everyone. My name is Steve Scott, current secretary of the club, also a past president, member of the Rotary Club for almost 13 years now, and I am a State Farm agent in San Dimas.
And let's go to Casey.
All right. My name's Casey. I'm a life coach. I lead a nonprofit in the town and do just whatever I can do to make this place great. And being a Rotarian is part of that. So I've been a member for about 9 years, past president, connecting all sorts of things and doing community work.
Excellent. Thank you for being here, Casey. Diva.
Hi, my name is Diva Alfaro. I've been a Rotarian for over 3 years now, past president, and I am a licensed loan officer.
And Diva has found a new project, which she emailed to me, which I think is a great project. But here's what I told her. We are so busy. If she's willing to take absolute ownership of it and push it forward, we'll get it done. And so I'm excited that you're out looking for stuff for us to do, Diva, even though we've got more than we can handle. That's how we get more people's having more than we can handle. Mary Ann.
Hello. Let me undo.
You're unmuted. Go ahead.
I am. Okay, thank you. I'm Mary Ann Kissler. I am a member of over 25 years. I am past president. I am the current foundation chair, and I love what Rotary does, and that's why I belong to Rotary.
Thank you so much, Mary Ann, for being here. We appreciate it, and we appreciate all your service to Rotary. And by the way, everybody, before we go to the speaker, board meeting this Thursday. We have lots of, again, important stuff to push forward that only the board can do. And also our foundation, which we are forming, it's in attorney hell, which means an attorney's reviewing it. But you know how they are, they read every word, and I think that they turn every word upside down, but it's there and it's going forward. Every project we have is going forward at a madcap rate, and I sincerely appreciate all of your efforts. So we have with us today Helene Ballmann Dudley. She's the co-executive director and co-founder of TCP Global, a team of returned Peace Corps volunteers, that's RPCV, who continue the type of service they did in person in the Peace Corps by working virtually to build sustainable microloan programs in underserved communities around the world. Through the RPCV network, TCP Global finds grassroots organizations working effectively to improve the quality of life in marginalized communities. TCP Global provides funds and mentoring to help them provide affordable loans to micro entrepreneurs and establish a permanent revenue stream for the nonprofit. All the members of TCP Global team are volunteers, allowing 100% of the donations to be distributed as micro loans. Helen holds an undergraduate degree from the St. Louis University in St. Louis, Missouri, and a master's in management information systems from Florida International University. She served in the Peace Corps in Colombia in 1968 through 1970 and Slovakia from 1997 to 1999. She is a past president of the Returned Peace Corps Volunteers of South Florida and a past president of the Rotary Club of Coconut Grove, Florida. She received a Presidential Lifetime Service Award in 2007 and the Lillian Carter Award from President Jimmy Carter in 2013. Primarily her microloan work with TCP Global, Ms. Dudley is also a member of the National Peace Corps Association Emeritus Board. Welcome to the Rotary Club of San Dimas, Helen. And we're going to have to get, there you go. Need you to unmute yourself.
Yes. Okay. And thank you very much for inviting me here today. I'm very pleased to be here. And how many minutes do you want for this presentation?
20 minutes with 10 minutes for us to ask questions.
Okay, that's perfect. So is this the time for the presentation now then?
Go.
All righty. Okay, so thank you very much for bringing me here today. And this presentation is about a return Peace Corps volunteer project that led me and several others to become Rotarians. A living example of partnering for peace and the type of collaboration that has been encouraged by Rotary International and the Peace Corps through their collaborative agreement. So, yeah, do I have screen sharing capabilities here?
You do indeed.
Okay. Well, then let's do that. Can you all see that?
Yes, it looks great.
Okay, I'll put it in as a slideshow though, I think. Never mind. Okay, so what started in 2000 as an effort by Columbia Return Peace Corps volunteers to help displaced people reestablish financial independence in Colombia has now evolved, and it was tested for 7 years in Colombia. We perfected our model over 7 years. And then in 2014, we evolved as TCP Global and took our program to Niger, Guatemala, and Peru. Over here on the side, you could see that the Return Peace Corps Volunteers of South Florida and the Rotary Club of Coconut Grove received a joint legislative tribute in 2013 for our working together on this project. So after the Rotary Club of Coconut Grove supported us with about $10,000 in district grants over a several-year period, I decided that it was time to stop working with Rotarians and to become a Rotarian. So myself and several others from our group became Rotarians through this project. And one of our most recent sites is with the Bo Sierra Leone program. Rassi Ba is the president of that club, pictured here in the middle. So during the pandemic, we grew from 28 sites in 8 countries to now we have over 120 sites in 14 countries. And this short video will tell you how the program works better than I can do.
We help finance microloan programs all around the world. By enabling NGOs to create their own microloan programs, we both support marginalized entrepreneurs and help create revenue streams for those nonprofits. Now, you might be wondering, what makes TCP Global so special? Over almost 2 decades of work, we have funded NGOs with missions that range from primary education to health to economic empowerment and community organization. In this way, we make our services available to a wide variety of NGOs. After all, our objective is to support NGOs' missions, not to change them. With TCP Global, the bottom line is pretty simple. As long as the NGO and its programs qualify and meet our criteria, they never have to send any money back to us, and we never get involved with their decision-making process. Now, let's get down to brass tacks. How does a TCP Global microloan program actually work? Our objective is to help fund organizations that are already working on the ground. So, in order to qualify for a TCP Global microloan grant, an organization has to meet a few requirements. First, they need to be a registered NGO in their country. Second, they need to have a bank account. And finally, they need to serve a poor, high-needs community. Now, for NGOs that meet these requirements, we grant funds to start a microloan program, usually in installments of $1,500 US. This $1,500 is then used by the NGO to finance microloans in the local entrepreneurial community. This microloan program implemented by the NGO does have to meet a few requirements. 1, the funds must go towards something that produces revenue. 2, the interest rates on the loan cannot exceed the local bank rates. And 3, the program must be established in compliance with the local laws. Although we at TCP Global do have our own recommendations to maximize the success and sustainability of the microloan program, as long as the NGO's program fits within these criteria, they are free to lend out the funds however they see fit. Now, perhaps the most important part of the lending process is what comes next. Once those $1,500 have been lent out by the NGO and been repaid twice, the NGO is eligible to receive more funds from us. In other words, we can send them an additional $1,500. And the best part is that once the NGO passes this benchmark of twice lent and twice repaid, they're able to keep half of everything we send them. Or put into other words, they're able to keep $750 for every $1,500 that we send them. Using our model, NGOs have earned an average of $2,000 per year, which they use for running their own NGO, paying helpers, purchasing equipment, financing special projects, and more. And finally, although US Peace Corps volunteers often serve as facilitators in these programs, they cannot directly oversee the program itself. That is up to the NGO. If you'd like to reach out to us, or if you need more information, go to www.columbiaproject.org or TCP Global's Facebook page. For specific questions, you can email our director, Helene Dudley, at helenedudley@yahoo.com.
Okay, so now you have an overview of how the program operates. And I would like to clarify, though, that once our money enters the community, it all stays in the community. Half of it goes into building a permanent loan pool that continues to get larger as we send more allocations. And then some money also goes to the NGO that runs the program to keep them engaged, to make sure that they are that they have some skin in the game so that they really help the borrowers to be successful with their loans. So in recent years, this is from where our money went last year in 2020. Initially, we started off in the Americas, but COVID has been really devastating in the Americas, causing our program there to contract. Meanwhile, we've been growing like hotcakes in Africa and Nepal, mainly because we're working with existing organizations that are very, very successful. In Africa, we've been working with, back in the 1990s, CARE was training women in groups of 15 to 30 to run what they call Women's Village Savings and Loan Associations, or VSLA. So CARE did this throughout the 90s. And then when they ended the program before the millennium, the women liked the program so much that they continued to train women from other villages. And this program was sustainable from the very beginning because the funds that the women lent out are from their combined savings, that each woman would put in maybe 50 cents a month or 50 cents a week, and they would lend that out. But over time, they saw the benefits of getting a loan, but their loans were very small and very infrequent. So now that we're partnering with a lot of these VSLAs, they already have the experience of running the loan program, but then we send them $1,500 and then additional allocations, and the women are growing their businesses much faster. Now, in the case of these VSLAs, a lot of the women sign with a thumbprint. They don't have computers and they don't have bank accounts, but one of our team members has been working with an organization called CDUC in Uganda, and CDUC works with a lot of these women's groups. So CDUC acts as the fiscal agent, bringing in money through the bank account, and they send in the reports. And CDUC, the women get the interest from their loans, but CDUC gets that $750 after the funds have been loaned out twice. And CDUC has used some of its earnings to buy 2 motos so that they can also offer microloans to women in the nearby Bidi Bidi refugee camp. There's a refugee camp of 300,000, about 15 kilometers from where CDUC is operating. And even I'm really touched because the need is so great in Uganda, where 73% of the people get their water from open streams. They spend, I think, 10% of their annual income is spent on treating diseases like malaria and diarrhea. So they have a great deal of need in their own community. yet they're willing to reach out to try to help people in the bitty refugee camp as well. So we currently have 8 microloan groups in the refugee camp and 27 in total in that area. So what makes, these are pictures, I think these pictures are from, well, they're from either Niger or Uganda, I can't remember. But these groups are set up so that they have 3 leaders and they do everything in the open with full transparency. Everybody sees who's paying, who's getting a loan. And I really like this woman here in the background. She's really watching what the president is doing. So they have full transparency. Another thing I really like about these groups is we've had meetings with them occasionally on Zoom, and they're always interested in helping other people. They'll say, oh, we love this program, but the people in the next village would like to have it too. I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Eastern Europe, and I saw very, very different. I've got mine, and I'm not worried about you getting yours, but these people are always looking out to help others nearby. So that's how we grew in Africa. That's why we're growing so much in Africa, because of these VSLAs. And in Nepal, we're growing rapidly because one of our team members knew Yogi when she was a Peace Corps volunteer. He was a Peace Corps language instructor. So he really gets the Peace Corps mentality. He's now a country coordinator for the Development Fund Norway. And the Development Fund Norway funds community-based organizations that are working in really remote settings. Two of the villages where he works take a two-day trek. You have to walk 2 days to get to the village from where the nearest transportation hub is. And a lot of these people are not only poor because they live in remote rural settings, but they're victims of caste discrimination in Nepal. So the Defense Fund Norway is training these people and trying to help them earn a better living. And they find that we're a really good match because they train people how to raise goats, and then we give them a loan so that they can buy goats. I should also mention these are additions to our team. Most of our team members are former Peace Corps volunteers, and most of the people who are running our program were volunteers in Colombia. So we don't have the depth of understanding about what life is like in Africa or Nepal. So we invited people from those countries to join our board. Also, this year has been a year of understanding that we need other kinds of diversity on our boards. So we were also looking for people of color to be on our board. And there just aren't that many returned Peace Corps volunteers, even though Peace Corps heavily recruits in that area. So most of these people still live in the country where the programs are operating, but the 2 ladies are Kenyan American university professors from the Midwest who are still very much involved in their community in Kenya. And they've been very, very helpful at helping us make sure that what we're offering is culturally appropriate. And they've also introduced us to new partners. So this is the Nepal program. And in this top photo, the man is training people. All of these people used to have little stalls where they would sell trinkets or snacks to hikers who were coming into Nepal. And now with COVID, that has all ended. So he's training them how to raise goats. And also in most of these villages in Nepal, the men used to go to India to do what they call the 3 Ds, the dirty, dangerous, and demeaning work. But with COVID, those men also came back. So they too need to be trained in ways that they can make a living. And raising goats, I guess, is very profitable in Kenya. And we also have a lot of goats. In Nepal, we also have a lot of goats for farming. So this is how the loans break down in Nepal. In the top row, just a few for sales, a lot of loans for farming, and a lot of loans for animal husbandry. So Nepal does training, but a lot of our other programs do training as well. We don't require training. My personal feeling is if somebody knows how to live on under $2 a day. They probably have a lot more to teach me than I have to teach them. And we don't want to put a lot of burdens on them to go to classes when they're already struggling to put food on the table for their families. But a lot of our programs do also offer training. So I was happy to see in this group in Niger that they have a woman who's giving training to other women about being micro entrepreneurs. So this lady in the lower left, she is a member from the DIG program, the Development in Gardening program in Kenya. That program also was started by former Peace Corps volunteers. And they teach regenerative agriculture. And they've found that their program has been very helpful during the pandemic because a lot of places, they're suffering from food insecurity in Kenya, but they're teaching sustainable organic farming techniques, and the people are producing really nutrient-dense food that's been very helpful to them and their families and also to the community. Kista, down here in the middle, is a college graduate who's running a program in Kiminini, Kenya. And she goes to some agricultural boot camps and then comes back and trains other people in the community on what she's learned. And this other slide is, for me, it's underneath a picture. So I don't know if you can even see this lady, but she's got a little clay pot. So part of Kista's program is everyone gets a little clay pot where they keep savings, because in addition to having access to the loans, it's also important to incorporate this culture of saving for the future. So this is an example of some of the types of loans that we give out. So the lady in the middle has this, a lot of people resell vegetables and fruits in the marketplace. A lot of people, as you already know, get goats to raise. This lady has a little store where she sells hair products. And can you see this whole picture? Okay. And then another lady is selling bananas, and another lady has a little stand in front of her house. So from July of 2020 until July of 2021, we opened an average of 2 new microloan sites per week.
Wow.
Whoops. Do you still see it? I lost my share. Are you still seeing it?
Yes, we can still, well, now it just disappeared.
Oh dear.
Now we see you.
Oh dear. You don't want to see me. I wonder how I can get this back.
Just try share screen again.
Yeah, you know, I'm 75. I'm lucky that I've been able to learn anything about this stuff.
There it is. There's back.
Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, we grew pretty steadily and incrementally until COVID hit, and then we just started growing super dramatically. And this year we're off the charts because as of August 30th, we've already sent 242,000 overseas and already loaned out 531,000, which is the good news. But the bad news was that we have one major funder, and they said, we cannot keep up at this pace. So they said they wanted to take a break until January while we diversify and look for other funding streams, which is what I've been beating the bushes to do at this point. Because what we're doing to cope with this is any funds that we have on hand, we're using to honor requests from existing partners. So if somebody has loaned out their money twice successfully, we want to make sure that we have funds to send them additional funds to expand their program. So we've stopped taking in any new partners as of July 1st. And which is a shame because we have a lot of partners waiting in Nepal, where there's a very strong support system through the Development Fund Norway. We also have a lot of very strong partners waiting in the Uganda area. And we also have a very strong program in Niger. And funds that are sent to TCP Global funds aren't matched like Rotary district funds. However, any funds that TCP Global sends are matched every year by the borrowers in the field. The money turns over about once a year, and those repayments are immediately invested back into to more loans. So investments in TCP Global are a really good bang for the buck. So as a bare bones operation, we do not routinely do any kind of surveys, but one of our Kenya partners developed a survey and found out that 95% of their borrowers use their increased earnings to make sure that their kids get a good education, also to improve the quality of food. But education is always the first thing that these people that they say that they're doing with their funds. So most people are not poor because they are lazy or lack initiative or creativity or skills, but because they lack resources. By getting funds into the hands of the entrepreneurial poor, we empower them to change their lives and change the lives of their children also. Have any of you seen the movie, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind? It's a Netflix documentary about a young boy in a village that was suffering from a drought somewhere in Africa. And his family didn't have any money to send him to school. So he would break into the school at night and read books in the library because he thought there should be a way that you could get a windmill to draw water up from underneath the, to draw up water. And so he was able to put something together with old bicycle parts. And now that your little boy is a teacher at MIT, and my gut tells me that there's a lot of very resourceful, very intelligent, motivated people out there. And if we could just get them an education and get them the tools, we'll have a lot more people, a lot more hands on deck working on the problems that affect our planet. And there's a lot of good programs that offer health programs, education programs, but like I said earlier, it's not that these people are stupid or that they're lacking initiative. If we can get funds into the hands of the parents, they know what to do to help their kids become productive. So I left this chart for last because most people's eyes glaze over when they look at the numbers, but I like the numbers. So these are all the countries we serve, and these are how many sites we have in each of those countries and how old the oldest site in those countries are. So you can see up here for our graduated or closed sites that, well, the oldest site was 12.5 years, but a lot of those sites are only 5 or 6 years old, that every dollar we've sent them has already been invested 5.78 times. And this is how much we've sent to each country and then how many times it's been invested. The times invested, of course, is very small for the programs that are still growing, because as soon as they hit that, in most cases, as soon as they get to that mark where they've invested the funds twice, then we send them more money. The repayment rate for all of those VSLA groups, we have probably 50 VSLA groups altogether, and every one of them has paid their loan on time and in 100% full. But for other sites, sometimes, especially in Latin America, people are having trouble making payments sometimes. The way we calculate this 100% is if you've made a payment anytime in the last 6 months, that qualifies as that you're still working towards paying off that loan. Poor people have very dire circumstances. We don't expect them to pay every month on time, which is why the VSLAs are so impressive, because everybody pays every month on time. And then you can also see in the next column how much different sites have earned. Because we find that nonprofits that are working in marginalized communities, they usually have a lot of really good ideas of things they can do to help their communities. But the people who have rolled up their sleeves to actually help poor people are not the ones that attract international funding. So this is a way for us to get a little bit of money into their hands so they can implement their ideas to help their communities. And now I'll be quiet and see if take any questions that you might have.
Let's open it to questions. I see quizzical faces. I know there's some questions out there. If not, I've got a couple. First is, and I'm going to cover this right off. We have a sister Rotary Club now in Kenya, and it is in a province that is next to Uganda. So it's a rural area. And I was wondering, and I'll send you an email on this. They have a project they'd like us to work with them on, but it would be really good to talk to your Kenya advisors so that we know we have some insight from, you know, on the information we're hearing and what they're doing, whether or not this is a good thing to go forward with. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. And what kind of project is this?
Well, what they want to do is they want to provide laptops to students going to university, the top 100 students within their in their province. And it's a big project, and we're not saying no. We're just, you know, we're kind of floating in whether or not this is a good idea or not.
Yeah, I'm certainly not an expert. Sounds good to me, though.
Yeah, so I think that I'll exchange emails. I'd like to get your advisors thing. First, so the question is, how do you raise funds at TCP Global?
We used to have a banquet every year or a brunch where we would raise money. That was in the days when we needed, you know, maybe 10,000 a year to send overseas. We are not a 501c3. We are an affiliate group of the National Peace Corps Association. They act as our banker and 501c3, which also gives us a little bit more credibility than just an individual group operating on our own. So there's our major donor came to us through the NPCA, and they've given us $250,000 over the last 18 months, I'd say. The Friends of Columbia, a lot of Peace Corps volunteers who served in Columbia, they have been very generous with us. Like I said, we got a few Rotary grants. And then I send out a newsletter every other week with family and friends, but mostly individuals.
Okay, excellent. Other questions for our guest? Well, Helene, thank you so much for coming in today to talk to us. The program is fascinating, and so my understanding is you fund entrepreneurs in other countries. That's exactly what goes on.
Right, exactly. And we only take partners who are recommended by either a returned Peace Corps volunteer or a Rotarian, because we don't really have the ability to vet someone. But if an RPCV or a Rotarian say this person is already working diligently to help this community, then we say, okay, but we only send 1,500. That's how much we can afford to lose. And then if they handle that well, then we send them more.
Excellent. Well, thank you again for joining us, the Rotary Club of San Dimas. We sincerely appreciate your work, and it was very informative. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much for having me. Stay well.
Thank you. And let's cut this out. Excellent. There we are. So let's see here. We are at the Fine Master, who is actually here today. Is he here? Is he still on? He is not on. He's dropped off. Do we find the Fine Master for dropping off? That's what I think we should do. Well, you know what? Our fine thing is I'm fine, you're fine. It's not fine. Does anybody have anything they want to bring up? I do encourage you to look at the invoices that are coming in and make sure that your dues are paid, as well as the fines that you've agreed to, so that we can continue to have a good bank account. We had no fast craft talk. I pretty much talked about everything up front that was going on. From the only thing is I really would like to remind you is that we have a board meeting on this Thursday evening, and the participation is crucial to us getting stuff done. Anybody have anything before I call today? Okay, thank you everyone. And that's the Rotary Club meeting for September 8th. See you later.
Thank you, Raymond.
Thank you, Raymond.
Bye.
Bye.